welcome back to the Urban Cottage Garden. My name is Jordan and I just want to say thank you for being here. Today we are going to be doing our weekly garden tour of what is growing on in my backyard. This past week we added 2 green stock planters, the original 5-tier and the 7-tier leaf planter. So I want to show you guys what's growing on in there, as well as what is growing in a kind of a trial flower, cut flower garden in the corner of the yard, and then get into the main garden space and what has grown since last week, because everything has absolutely taken off. The tomatoes have taken off, the flowers have taken off, we've moved some strawberry plants around, and it is just, it's gonna get real crazy here pretty soon. So why don't we go ahead and show you around. Alright, so first things first, we added a new garden space. Down here, we are going to put some string lights up, and we've repurposed this wood from previous trellises from last year. So we are reusing the wood, and we have now added a planter for the string lights. We have decided to move some of our strawberries into here to make them more accessible. So in here, we have our 4 strawberry plants right around the corners. I also put in one of my rogue basils here. It's an Emily basil. And then I decided I wanted some sunflowers. So what I did here was I started some sunflowers. I have the Pro Cut White Knight and the Ruby Eclipse from Floret Flowers. And then on this back side, I have a black Russian sunflower from M.I. Gardner, and this guy is a big sunflower. So I was really envisioning him growing up this whole light post with the string lights. So that would be really cool. And plus I have something to kind of tie him onto just in case we get some strong winds. So the green stock garden planters I have been wanting for quite some time now. And they went on sale for Mother's Day, and I was lucky enough to get the 5-tier one on sale. And then I also bought the 7-tier leaf, the new planter, which was not on sale, but I would just really wanted a space right off the patio with the strawberries in a place that kept them off of the ground and off of the mulch. So I moved a few of our strawberry plants that were in the main garden over here into this the green stock planters. And then I also went to the local greenhouse and bought some started strawberries. They're all ever-bearing, so they will flower multiple times in the year, and then that way we can overwinter them for next year. So I'm really excited to see what they do this year. I've already told some people that I'm not taking off the blossoms on my larger plants, but on my smaller ones I'm going to go ahead and take the blossoms off as soon as they blossom, so they can get some of that root growth back. So we're going to start with the 5-tier original. Now these ones have a bigger pocket right here than the 7-tier leaf, so we can grow some bigger things in here, but we're mainly using them for the purpose of strawberries, lettuce, because we eat a lot of different kinds of lettuce and salad greens, and some sunflowers at the bottom so they can grow up really pretty, and the dogs don't eat the sunflowers, so they're at the bottom. So here we go. Okay, so here is the 5-tier leaf, the 5-tier original from Greenstock. And so what we've got going on up here, we'll start from the top and go towards the bottom. We have some rainbow Swiss chard, and then I believe that's from M.I. Gardner. We have Paris Island Cost lettuce, which is from Baker Creek, and I'm starting all these from seed. And then we have Little Gem lettuce, and that I believe is from Baker Creek as well. And on the back side we have more Little Gem lettuce, because this is some of our favorite lettuce, as well as the Paris Island. And then we have a Salad Sensation spinach from Burpee. And then down here we have some Mizuna Red Streaks mustard from M.I. Gardner. And then, like I told you, our favorite lettuce is the Little Gem, so we have some more. We have some Zeolites calendula from Floret Flowers. And then we have some Freckles Remain from M.I. Gardner. as well as some more little gem, and then more calendula on this back side. Then we get into our strawberry plants. This top row of strawberry plants is from a local nursery, so they're a little bit smaller, and these are the ones I will be taking the blossoms off of because they are so small. So they go all the way around here. And then the second one is some of the more established plants that I had. I did leave the strawberries on there. I'm gonna let them produce these ones right here, and then I'm gonna take them off so they can get back to focusing on that root growth. And then at the bottom we have a mix of sunflowers, as you can see right in there. And they are a mix of Vanilla Ice sunflowers from Floret Farms, and you can see the dogs got to one already. This one was a Moulin Rouge, so this guy is goner. But the other ones they've kind of stayed away from so far, so such is life with having a dog. Also, I'm pretty sure the culprit of that sunflower is this little guy right here. Huh, Cole? Did you do it? You did it. I know you did. I didn't show you this last time, but this is our smaller herbs. This is the oregano that I've overwintered. Planted some more this year just in case it didn't pull through. And then I planted some radish in there as well, and some German chamomile. Over here we have some started flowers from seed. These are not ready to be transplanted yet, but they're doing really well. We have some cream swirl California poppies down this whole row, and then we have our Tower chamoy, apricot, China aster. We have one of those coming up, two of those actually, and then we have our Lady Coral, which is actually done really, really well. Then this whole row right here is Cosmos, which, as you can see, we have two really good ones going, and then some white carnations down this row, more white carnations, and then some milkweed, which I've had a hard time with milkweed germinating, so we'll see how this does. And then a rogue sunflower that was actually growing at the bottom underneath, and I just put him up here yesterday, and we'll see how he does. This one might replace the one the dogs ate. And then we have a Kajari melon started right here, just waiting for him to come out of his shell. I've been having a hard time with the Kajari melons coming out of their shell right now, so I'm gonna spray some water on him later to see if we can help him get out of there. So the purpose of the started flowers here is I really enjoy flowers. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed growing them and having them in the garden, so I have kind of started to figure out what I like and don't like, because I was actually able to give somebody some flowers that I grew, some of my zinnias, this past week, and I really enjoyed being able to go out that morning, grab some flowers, tie them up, and give them to someone. And I really, really enjoyed that. It was something I found very rewarding, and I felt like it meant more because I grew it. So possibly in the next few years, we'll see how this goes. I might venture out to maybe a pro cut kind of style garden where I can gift small bouquets and nothing too crazy, just like friends, and see how that works out. Because possibly maybe one day in the future when we have a farm, we might be flower farming. So that is why these are here. I'm learning what works here, what works in our climate, what I enjoy growing, and what I have the best luck with growing from seed. So that is why these are here right now. You can see that the dogs are enjoying the sun right now. So this is the 7-tier leaf green stock garden. This mainly has strawberries in it, new strawberries. So these ones will all have their blossoms plucked off when they start to blossom for a little while. And then I grew a bunch of sunflowers at the bottom, which is funny because the dogs have actually stayed away from this one. This one's been here longest. This is a mixture of some frilly sunflowers from Floret Farms. We have more frilly down here. I believe these are some Ruby Eclipse or Moulin Rouge ones. So So far, I'm really enjoying this, and it looks nice and well put together, and it goes with kind of our vibe for our backyard, and I can't wait to see these grow. So another new space we have is over in this corner, and I planted too many zinnias in the main garden space, so I ended up taking them out, some of the stronger ones that I felt could, the stronger bushier ones, so that way they weren't taking up so much space, and I could give them space over here with the rose and the blueberry. So that's what we have going on here. I also had some extra Thai basil plants that I pulled out that were just getting too big for the space, so they're back here along with a bee balm plant to see how it grows back here. Now this area gets partial shade, but it does get a lot of sun throughout the day, but it's like through the tree leaves. So this is kind of a trial test to see how they do where the rose is at, and where the blueberry is at is actually where they get the most sun. But I wanted to see kind of just an experiment and see how they do over here, because we don't have anything really important or planted that I really enjoyed back here. So we're gonna see how this does and go from there. And I'm using a Florida weave style method for the zinnias to keep them up off the ground from like slugs and critters and things like that. So that is what you will see right here. So these are a mix of little flower zinnia, or little flower girl zinnia mix, as well as some other ones that haven't blossomed yet, so I don't know like which ones are which, so we will see as they start to bloom. This one for sure I know is a little flower girl mix because of the color right there. So we have 3 zinnias right here. We have my rose bush. I believe this is the Francis Myland from Menagerie Farms, and this guy is doing really good over here, so I'm really excited. This is like a pink color rose. It's really beautiful. And then as you can see over here, we have some more zinnias, and then we have, this is our blueberry bush that's about 6 to 8 months old from transplanting, and as you can tell, there are some blueberries on there right now. And then one more zinnia. And then over the top, we have a Thai basil right there, bee balm. It's a purple bee balm, I believe. Lollipop might be the name of it. And then right there is another Thai basil. And I'm gonna let those flowers for the bees and let them really just enjoy this area and let them pollinate whatever they feel like. Over here, we have our hanging basket strawberries. So these ones are doing really good, and they're producing a lot. This is where Aiden mainly comes to harvest the strawberries. And then we have another one right over here, which, as you can see, this one is almost ready. So we're gonna flip him around. And then this one's been doing really good with all of the strawberries it's been producing. So those are our strawberries. So we have our Feverfew Vegmo from Floret Farms there, as well as our Summer Berries Yarrow right here. So I'm interested to see which one starts to flower first, but this is the front of the garden. And now we're gonna go ahead and jump in and see what we've got growing from last week and how much they have grown. Okay, so down the center, we have my herb garden here. We did take out the strawberries that were in here, and now we have White Knight Pro Cut sunflowers right here and right here. They're both from Floret Farms, and they're looking great. We have our parsley, we have our rosemary up at the front, and then we have our thyme in the back with our basil in the middle. We also have our garlic and onions. We have 2 sunflowers in here as well. We have our Pro Cut White as well as a Zohar right in the middle. And my thinking on this is that when I start to pull the garlic and the onions, there will be room for the sunflowers to grow. So they might start off a little slow now, but they will get to a point where they can grow more. As well as this bed right here. This had strawberries in it, but I really wanted sunflowers down the center. So we're growing Zohar, Pro Cut White Knight. We have a Ruby Eclipse right there. This is a Pro Cut White Knight, and then that right there is another Zohar. So those are the two yellows, a ruby down the middle, and then 2 whites. Now our 2 front bins right here, we have our rose bushes. So this is my Tequila Supreme, which is looking really, really good. I'm hoping by next week we might actually have some blossoms starting to show up on here. I just fertilized them this week. It's about 2 months after they were put in, so it's about time for them to be fertilized. We have some radishes growing and my marigolds. And then I put in 2 black Russian sunflowers. So these guys should get pretty tall, which I wanted them to be because of not having an arch right here right now. So I wanted the 2, there's one right here and then there's one over here, and I wanted them to grow up the side of the gate so that it's like the statement piece. So hopefully that works out. We'll see how it does, but I'm really excited for that. And this one over here is my this might be my Tequila Supreme actually. I think this is my Tequila Supreme rose, and that one is actually the one I just showed you was my Teasing Georgia. So we have my marigolds, and all I'm doing with the marigolds is I'm deadheading. This is a new one, but if this was dead, I would pop them off as soon as they're done so they keep producing and keep growing. And so far they keep putting off more buds, so it's working out really well. Then we have the other black Russian sunflower right there, and I pulled out the poppies that I told you I was going to pull out last week. So what I really wanted to show you on this rose right here is all of the buds that are starting to show up, all of the rose buds. So we have one right there, 2, 3, 4. We got another one over here. We have another one down here, another one right here. So this guy is about to put off some roses. I'm super excited to see how it looks. Now for my corner tomato plants, all of them are cherry or grape tomatoes. So this one right here is my Sun Gold cherry, and I'm pruning to 1 stem because it gets humid here. But I want to show you, let's see if I can zoom you in and show you these tomatoes that are now starting to form. You see them? And there's more blossoms, and they have just been going crazy lately and doing really, really well in these containers that we have here. Now, the other side is another Sun Gold cherry, and once again, 1 liter, looking really good. We have some, let me go on the outside. We have some good sized cherry tomatoes right there. Let's see. I can do all of this one-handed. You see them all right there? And then right there. Yeah. So we are starting to look really good with the tomatoes. The blossoms are coming in like crazy, and they're looking super, super healthy. Now for the back tomatoes, this one over here is a Sweetie cherry, so it's just a red cherry tomato, and this guy is thriving. When I tell you he's thriving, he is thriving. He is probably 4 or 5 feet tall now, so he's huge. And this was the first one that actually started producing the tomatoes. I'm going to show you on the other side. So other than the Sun Gold cherry, these guys over here have absolutely been crushing the tomato game. So I don't know if you can see without it focusing on my hand, all of those cherry tomatoes that are now there on that first branch. We've got a bunch more coming in here. We got some more blossoms right there. And this guy is just looking really, really good. Now for the last one, this is my Brad's Atomic Grape cherry tomato. It's not cherry, it's a grape tomato. But I wanted to show you the difference in color. This guy doesn't look like he's doing super fantastic, but he is producing some fruit, so we'll see how he does. But I wanted to show you, if it'll let me focus past this leaf. You see those guys right there? They are starting to come in, and they are actually slightly purple right there, if you can see. So we'll see how they're doing, but he's producing quite a few. They just started really taking off. And then we've got some more blossoms up here. So the first bed as you come in through the gate right here is my tomatoes. So I have the bigger tomatoes, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this row right here. And wait till you see what is growing. You see those? So this is a Dr. Witchy's, and there are 2. I don't know if you can see that one in the back. Let's see if we can zoom in. Do you see that guy back there? Not on my hand. Right there. You see them? Oh my goodness, look at all of them. And they're coming in like crazy right now. So this thing is really popping off and really starting to produce and looks extremely healthy and is just non-stop growing. So these guys look really good. This is my Dr. Witchy's. The other tomato I have right here is my San Marzano. So this is my paste tomato. And this guy is looking really great too. The leaves are so different on this one. It's very interesting. And the tomatoes are actually on the back side. So let me show you. All right. So here's the back side. We have all of the blossoms coming out this way. So they are loving their life right now. And we have some more coming up and then some more right up here as well. If you notice, I have taken the 2 zinnias. There were 2 zinnias back here. These are 2 that I planted over in the flower bed in the corner. That way it gives this more sun. My dahlia can start to actually take off, which it has. And then the 2 opal basils right there. So that gives them a little bit more sunlight. And then this other dahlia over here has more sunlight because I took these zinnias out, one of the zinnias out in the front. So now on the front side of these tomatoes, we have my French doll dahlia, which I did pinch off. Something is eating this, but I have not figured out what it is yet. So I'm kind of playing it by ear and seeing if I can figure out. There is no poop on it, so it might be a grasshopper. So I'm trying to figure out because they're not touching the tomato leaves. So interesting. We've got a radish right here, my amethyst basil, and then one of my squash plants that I planted. This is the, I think this is the Black Beauty squash. And so he's looking really good. And then I have another dahlia right back there. This is my marin, and it's looking really good. I'll have to let it grow a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna pinch that one off too. This right here is my Oklahoma ivory zinnia. It's the only zinnia I kept because it wasn't really doing any damage where it was at. So that one's doing really good. And then my nasturtium right down here. So this is my second tomato bed. And the 2 tomatoes I have in here is my pink tie-dye and my Dr. Witchy's. So this pink tie-dye is starting to produce right through in there. I don't know if you can see it, all the blossoms in there. And then we've got a bunch more up here, and then we have a bunch more popping off up here as well. So this one's looking really, really good, and I'm excited to taste those tomatoes. This one over here is another Dr. Witchy's. So as you can see, we've got some little bitty ones right in there, and the other one is actually producing way faster. So that is very interesting. And then I kept the zinnias up here. So we have, I think this is an Oklahoma ivory zinnia, and then my amethyst basil. We have some radish as well as some onions growing up in the front, and then we have this Black Beauty. Okay, so the other one over there is a yellow squash. This one is my Black Beauty. And then we have some little flower girl zinnias growing from Floret Farms, and then more radish, another nasturtium, and then this is the Senora zinnia, which I actually like how big and tall it's getting because it's not bushing out, which isn't taking up a bunch of shade from the other plant. So maybe next year I will not pinch the zinnias that are with the tomatoes, so that way they go more straight up instead of bushing out. So my third bed right here is my cucumber bed, and this, or one of my cucumber beds, and this one has peppers as well. So this is, I mean, this pepper is probably a good foot and a half, but they are starting to get ready to blossom down there, so that's exciting. And I did pinch these off so they will bush out more. I do have some stock buttercream right here, and then this is another Sonora zinnia, and this guy's gotten really tall and really pretty. And then underneath here I have a dahlia here, I've got some onions here, I have a radish, more butterstock, another zinnia, I believe this is an Oklahoma ivory, another radish, Thai basil, and some snapdragons, Madame peaches. Those, all the flowers are from Floret Farms, Floret Flowers. Back here I have my let's see if I can zoom in for you. Back here I have my cucumbers. These are my muncher cucumbers, so they are doing really well. And same thing down here is a muncher cucumber, and they are getting really good sun. I might have to trim down this zinnia a little bit more to give it some more space to the sun to get back there. Same thing with this one. So we'll see how they do over the next week, and then we'll go from there. The fourth bed is another cucumber bed. These cucumbers are doing way better, and I think it is because the flowers are blocking the sun in the other one. These are my silver slicers. They are looking really good. And eventually they will trellis up these sticks and onto the trellis. And here is the other one over here, which is looking really good. These are all started from seed in here. So these are probably about 2 or 3 weeks old, maybe 3 weeks. And then we have some more bell peppers, or not bell peppers, we have more pepper plants in here as well. So this is a, oh look it, there's a blossom down there. Let's see if I can get it on there for you. Move. Right there. So there is a blossom on this one. This I believe is my nata pino, and this one right here is my habanada. So this is my nata pino. So the nata pino is the first one to actually blossom for me this year. We have a Thai basil, we have some chives, we have snapdragons, the Madame Peaches snapdragons, which are looking really good. More snapdragons, a zinnia, another zinnia, and then the habanada, which is looking really bushy and good. And then we have another butterstock and another butterstock. So this bed is looking mighty fine. Now for the fifth bed we have over here, this is one of my melon beds. This is the Minnesota midget melons, and as well as my bell pepper bed starting. So we have some zinnias over here. So this one's looking really pretty. So Oklahoma ivory, I believe. And then we have, this is an orange golden, hold on, let me find the golden. Okay, so these are orange, these two. This is an orange bell pepper, this is an orange bell pepper, and we've got lots of blossom, or not blossoms, there is one starting right through there. But they're looking really good, nice and bushy. We have another dahlia right here. This one is just gone crazy in this climate. Wynn's New Pastel right there. I did pinch that one. We have some basil right here, and we have our golden bell peppers right through here, which are looking really good and really strong and healthy. We also have a Teesbrook Audrey dahlia right here, and then the melons. This is the Minnesota midget melon, and he's looking really good. I'm really excited. And then same thing with this guy over here, he's looking really good. And then of course one more zinnia. The sixth and final bed is another melon bed. I only have one melon planted in it right now because I have that Kajari melon starting over on the table over there. So we do have one Kajari melon back here, and he's looking pretty good. And everything's looking really good, no insect pressure yet. So the other one will go right back here when it's ready. So we have another zinnia here. We have our red bell peppers coming through all over here. And this guy's looking really good too. This one's probably gonna flower this week. And then we have our huge basil plant looking really good. And this is the final bed. All right, so that was week 2 of our garden tour. It is May 9th, Mother's Day 2021, and everything is looking really good back here. and I'm really excited for how this is going to transform over the next month or so, because it's going to get really crazy. Some good rains coming through and some really nice temperatures to keep everything really, really healthy. So that wraps up garden tour number 2. I just want to say thank you for sticking through this entire garden tour and spending time with me in my garden. That's something I'm really, really passionate about, and I love spending time out here as my personal self-care. I believe it's a good thing to keep your hands busy and learn patience and perseverance, and if you pour your heart and soul into your garden, that you will reap the benefits on the back end. So once again, I hope I inspire you to grow some kind of food, herbs, or anything, flowers in your backyard, and just try. You never know until you try. So thank you for spending your time with me in my garden. I hope that you come back next Sunday and spend some more time as we watch my garden grow throughout the summer. Thank you, and I hope to see you guys next week.